Genesis and Dictators, 1930 to 1938. The tournament was born out of Olympic success but was immediately hijacked by global politics and ruthless triumphs. 1930 Uruguay. Only 13 teams participated because furious European nations were outraged by the grueling 2-week boat journey. The final between Uruguay and Argentina was so hostile that the referee demanded a quick escape boat at the harbor in case of a riot. Uruguay won. 1934 Italy. The tournament switched to a knockout format and was heavily weaponized as propaganda by dictator Benito Mussolini. He personally selected referees to ensure Italy won, sending the team a telegram before the final stating, "Win or die." 1938 France. Italy defended their title amidst rising global political tension. Under pressure of Adolf Hitler, Austria was forced to withdraw so that their top players could play for Germany instead. It was the last tournament before World War II forced a 12-year delay. Stage 2. Post-war revival and the birth of a king, 1950 to 1958. Football returned to a fractured world, delivering legendary sports upset and bizarre team paranoia. 1950 Brazil. Famous for his Maracanazo, Brazil only needed a draw to win the trophy, but shockingly lost 2-1 to Uruguay in front of 20,000 devastated fans. Newspapers had already printed Brazil Champions Edition. Several fans reportedly committed suicide inside the stadium. 1954 Switzerland. Known as the Miracle of Bern, the legendary Hungarian magical Magyars, unbeaten for 4 years, were shockingly defeated 3-2 by West Germany. Afterwards, Hungary accused the Germany of using secret illegal performance-enhancing drugs, pointing to sudden locker room illnesses. 1958 Sweden. A 17-year-old named Pelé burst onto the scene, leading Brazil to their first World Cup title. Paranoid about European food poisoning, they brought their own private jets, 25 bags of coffee, and a psychologist who said that Pelé was too fragile to play. Stage 3. Arts, violence, and military juntas. 1962 to 1978. As television broadcast went global, the tournament became an international stage for crimes, conspiracies, and beautiful football. 1962 Chile. Brazil won back-to-back titles, but the tournament is famous for the Battle of Santiago, an incredibly violent match between Chile and Italy triggered by Italian journalists calling Chile a backwater dump. Local citizens attacked Italian players' streets before the kickoff. 1966 England. England won their only title on home soil, featuring Geoffrey's famous ghost goal. Months before kickoff, the trophy was stolen from an exhibition. Scotland Yard was clueless until a dog named Pickles found it wrapped in a newspaper under a garden. 1970 Mexico. The first World Cup broadcast live in color, showing Pelé's legendary squad, widely considered the greatest team ever assembled. Off the pitch, England's captain Bobby Moore was falsely accused in Colombia for stealing a diamond bracelet, causing a major diplomatic standoff. 1978 Argentina. Hosted and won by Argentina amidst a brutal military dictatorship that kidnapped citizens blocked from the stadium. Allegations remain that the military bribed heavily Peru with grain and financial assets to intentionally lose 6-0, clearing Argentina's path to the finals. Icons, cartels, and dark secrets. 1982 to 1998. The era when massive financial expansion met genius, bringing drugs, mafia ties, and deep tragedies. 1982 Spain. Expanded to 24 teams and featured Paulo Rossi destroying a beautiful Brazilian side. Off the pitch, the Sheikh of Kuwait ran onto the pitch during a match against France, threatening to pull his team out unless referee cancelled a French goal. Shockingly, the referee gave in. 1986 Mexico. Completely dominated by Diego Maradona. His famous hand of God goal against England wasn't just a cheat, it was a deeply political act of revenge for British defeating the Argentina in the Falklands War just 4 years prior. Minutes later, he scored the goal of the century. 1990, a notoriously defensive tournament to remember for Cameroon's historic run to the quarterfinals. Behind the scene, the Argentina squad openly accused the Italian host of putting sedatives into their water bottles. 1994, USA. Brazil won on penalties after Italian legend Roberto Baggio blasted his shot over the crossbar. The tournament was marred by dark drama. Maradona was kicked out for failing a drug test, and Colombia defender Andres Escobar was shot dead back home after scoring an own goal. 1998 France. Expanded to 32 teams, and Zinedine Zidane scored twice in the finals to beat Brazil. Hours before kickoff, Brazilian superstar Ronaldo suffered mysterious convulsive fits in his hotel room. He dropped and then mysteriously reinstated, playing like a ghost amid rumors of massive corporate pressures. Stage 5: Greed, Globalization, and the Ultimate Final, 2002 to 2026. The modern era turned the World Cup into a multi-billion-dollar powerhouse defined by global expansions and institutional corruption. 2002: South Korea/Japan. The first tournament in Asia featured massive upsets, South Korea reaching the semi-finals and Ronaldo securing redemption. However, it was plagued by match-fixing allegations after a series of bad refereeing favored the co-host. 2006: Germany. Italy won on penalties, but the tournament is forever remembered for the headbutt heard around the world. Zinedine Zidane snapped in the final after Italian defender Marco Materazzi insulted his sister, earning a red card in his final career game. 2010: South Africa. The first World Cup on African soil, and Spain's tiki-taka mastery. Off-pitch, the French national team completely imploded. Players went on strike and refused to train and locked themselves in the team bus after a teammate was sent home. 2014: Brazil. Highlighted by Germany's 7-1 demolition of host nation Brazil, the tournament faced public protests across the country over billions spent on stadiums while public services starved. On the pitch, Luis Suarez shocked the world by biting an Italian defender. 2018: Russia. The debut of the VAR system saw a talented French squad lift the trophy. The entire tournament was shadowed by intense geopolitical tension, cyber espionage allegations targeting FIFA delegates, and poisoning of a double agent on UK soil. 2022: Qatar. The first Winter World Cup hosted in the Middle East concluded with the greatest final in history, a 3-3 thriller where Lionel Messi finally hoisted the trophy. Yet it remains the most controversial tournament ever, dogged by systematic bribery allegations that toppled the FIFA hierarchy. 2026: Canada, USA, and Mexico. The past tournament expands to 48 teams across an entire continent, sparking fierce debates over unprecedented player travel fatigue and the massive environmental carbon footprint of flying teams across the three nations since Spain left the World Cup. If you like this video, subscribe, comment, and share, and see you in the next one.